submit myself and do what I had to do to survive. It wasn't a fact about winning. See, people look the wrong way. They focus on winning. I wasn't focused on winning nothing. I was focusing on surviving. Surviving each day, taking each day, one day at a time. Lord, just let me survive. Let me survive, God. Help me to survive. I just want to live. I just want to live. That was my goal, was life. And when I come up out of that prayer room, I tell you, God had then placed something inside of my spirit to do. And next thing you know, I started working with different people. The income started coming back in. I was drawing basically what I was drawing to me basically what I was putting out. And I didn't realize that I was putting it out like that, So you can't overlook what's going on in your life. And even though you got struggles, you still have to get up and do something about it. You can't sit there and just say, well, I got faith. Faith don't work like that. You got to actually act on your faith. And if you ever see your stomach split wide open, you'll get up and do something. And I was in a good place all this time. In a good place, in good spirits. Until I saw my stomach split open. Until I saw my thighs hanging so far down that I was like, what am I going to do with all this skin? I can't afford the surgery. And, my arms were just weighing heavy on my elbows and stuff. Because a lot of my skin had fell so bad, y'all. My tattoo started dropping down. It dropped down a whole lot from where it used to be. But that was my worst of 2017. And with God's will, if it's God's will, I plan to go through 2018 greater than ever. And one thing I will tell people is that I believe in my heart that I could have came up out of this struggle a lot sooner. And I probably could have identified with it a lot sooner if I had not been listening to certain pastors. Somebody might get mad, but I'm being real. Some of these pastors were preaching, some of the things they would tell you would kind of discourage you, first of all. And then whenever they see you coming up, every time they start seeing you building up, they always knew which scriptures to use against you. So study that word of God for yourself so that you'll know how those scriptures are supposed to be used. And I'm telling you, it was just something. But that, life is what it is. We're going to go through some good times. We're going to go through some bad times. We're going to go through, some of us may go through a lot of relationships. Some of us may not go through any. But the key to it is to always try to stay as focused as you can. Do what you can and always trust God. Because during all this time that I've been going through this struggle, I have been trusting God. And this month, everything paid off. Everything paid off for me. These 4 years that I have been in this struggle, guess what? The struggle is over simply because I trusted God enough to drop down on my knees and consult Him with what I needed to do. And when I consulted God, He gave me all these ideas, and I was able to make the money to pay my stuff up, to pay my car off, to start working on my home, to pay off a lot of my debt. I paid it off, y'all. Y'all don't hear me. Woo, woo. I am so happy. I paid it off. So when I start the new year, guess what? I'm starting the new year debt free. It was a sacrifice. I'm starting it debt free. Now I'm going to be able to do the things that I really want to do. I'm able to, I'm already focusing back on the health part and get my nutrition up. Because my nutrition is still down. It takes a while to really get it back where it needs to be. I'm exercising again. I'm just loving me. You cannot go into 2018 and not include yourself in the things that you want God to do. You can't do it. You got to include yourself in those visions that you have. I'm telling you, it's got to be more than clothes and hair and nails getting done. It's got to be a healthy inside. Because I'm telling you, after all I went through, I managed to still get up and still take care of other people. I managed to still go out and hold my head up. I wasn't ashamed of what I was going through. At first, I started out being ashamed in 2014 and 15, but by 2016, I wasn't ashamed anymore. I wasn't ashamed. And yes, I did have a lot of tears. If I would have been doing this blog back then, y'all would have been like, wow. Wow. And the strong, they say only the strong survive. And that depends on what you're fighting. That depends on what you're going through, because it was a lot of days I was strong in the day, but I was weak as crap by night. I was weak. I went to sleep with a lot on my mind. Most nights I cry myself to sleep because I wanted something to eat, but I couldn't get nothing to eat. And I look at it now and I'm just like, I just thank God. There's always something in it there. There's always something in it. It's always something in it for you when you allow God to work your situation and let it turn out for your good. And would I change things? I wouldn't change what God has planned. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change, because I learned a lot of stuff during this time. During this year alone, I learned so much. I learned that I am so much more than I give myself credit for. I am so much more than that. I mean, you can look at these people. I'm going to tell you, these people have these nice cars and houses and stuff. Look, don't hate on them. Thank God for them. Thank God for them. I don't hate on anybody who has more than me. I just try to learn. Try to learn and get what it is that I need to get up out of it and keep it moving. So I don't hate on nobody. So I'm just in a place right now where I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 2018, and I'm looking forward to having a great year. I know as far as relationships go, I'm not going to be, how can I say this? If it comes, it comes. If it don't, I'm not going to worry about it, because God didn't show me too many times that his timing is always the best. So if a relationship comes, good. If it don't, I'm good with that too. Because God is just, he's an on-time God. He's not going to let you suffer like that. He's an on-time God. So, you just have to put it all in God's hand. And you have to learn to see people for who they are. And don't get caught up on, don't get caught up on a lot of chatter. A lot of times we get caught up on hearing what people can do for us, but they don't do nothing. So don't get caught up on the voice. The voice. Sometimes you can't even get caught up on the actions. You just have to pay really attention to what's going on in your life. You have to make yourself a priority. I had to make myself a priority. And by doing that, what I had to do was I had to cut back on, some of the things I was doing for my grandchildren, my children, my family. I had to just cut back and find my direction. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm going into 2018 and I ain't got all this debt over my head. I finally got all this paid off, so I'm just really happy about that. I'm happy about my shows. I'm happy, period. So, y'all, this is my Simple Life blog, and if you like it, with the Simple Life blog, I'll probably pop it on, just whenever I feel like it. It ain't that I'm trying to, just do it every day or make a big deal of it. I just want to get out what I want to get out, and some things, I can't explain everything through a Facebook post, because all that writing, nobody reads all that writing all the time. So I just try to get out what I can get out, and in the best way that I can get it out. But y'all can join me back here at midnight for the Midnight Love Garden. Okay, that's going to be on iHeartRadio as well. But yeah, Jamie doing good. Miss Koko Bowden is doing good for herself, despite what I've been through. Despite how many times people walk by me. And I ain't even tell y'all that part, did I? When I was hungry, I had people that knew that I did not have nothing to eat. They knew that I didn't have stuff in my home. Sometimes I had to go without running water. They knew that. And these same people walked by me. They walked by me. Some family and some friends. They walked by me. Did it hurt? Yes. Yes, it hurt. It hurt. It hurt to know that they knew my struggles and yet would come around me and eat big old plates knowing I hadn't had nothing all day. But hey, I couldn't get mad at them. I couldn't get mad at them for the choices that I had made. That was a choice that I made to do those programs and lose my money. So I couldn't get mad at them for being them. That's when it just comes down to you have to step up and be you. Period. Okay, so what am I about to do now? Okay, so what I'm about to do now, I'm finna go fix me some biscuits, y'all. Some biscuits with jelly and some fat back. That's all I want. That's all I want is some biscuits and some jelly. If y'all don't know, I actually love beans though, so that was right down my alley, those beans was. I can eat canned beans every day, but that doctor told me I had to stop eating it because it's too much lead going in me, so had to find lots of fruits and vegetables. And actually some of these churches had the fruits and vegetables, but you had to eat them like the same day. If you eat them the same day, they were going to spoil. Or you had to eat it as soon as you get home, or else it's going to spoil. Because a lot of these foods that churches give out are just, I'm telling you, I thank God for it. But at the same time, when I tell y'all some of that stuff was disgusting, and if I had not been really hungry and to the point where I felt my blood sugars dropping real low, my blood sugars would drop down to like 50 and 60, and my head would start shaking and my eyes would go blurry and stuff. Now that part was really scary, and I would have to like drink I would have to eat a lot of yogurt. I would eat a lot of yogurt or whatever they gave from the church. I would have to hurry up and eat it. But I mastered going hungry. I mastered it, but that's not the right way to lose weight. So yes, I did lose 170 some pounds naturally. But this last 50, 60 pounds that came off, it was through starvation. And I wrote a book about it. It's called Poverty Among Us. Poverty Among Us is basically talking about how sometimes we look too much to the churches to do their part. We look too much to the government to do their part. When we as families and brothers and sisters of Christ, we should just automatically step up and help one another. We don't always know what a person is thinking in their mind, because I was depressed a lot of times, but you never would know it because I didn't stay in that place. I was speaking slam off of me, but it did come. But I didn't entertain it like that. I didn't entertain it, but it did try to come. It did come. We had to get back to the place where we help each other out, where we actually can love each other for real, and not have, one of the things I felt so bad about is they always got you signing your name on something in order to get something. And churches won't help you unless you got a grant here, a grant there. So Poverty Line Among Us is just basically bringing it back to the core of things, which are people. We got to stop putting a number on people. That pissed me off to be a number, knowing I was hungry, standing up there about ready to fall out, trying to get some food. And here I is, got to fill out all this paperwork just to eat a freaking sandwich that wasn't no good. Some of the bread had mold on it. I would have to pick the mold off and still eat it because that's all I had. We got to get back to the place where people are not numbers, where we can treat people like people. That's my goal for 2018. I want to love people. When I say love people, that means to follow Christ and help people. I just felt so bad being in that line, knowing that I wasn't pretending. We got some people that pretend, and we got some people who waste their money. But I wasn't wasting money. I wasn't pretending. I was in that line because I was hungry. Yay! You hear me? I was hungry. That's why I was in the line. And those people I had to fill out so many papers. I remember, I promise y'all. Check this out. I was so hungry. I went and applied for food stamps. They told me my income was too high. But you can listen, you can pay